Hey guys, Dr. Lera here with Ginger, and this is one of my dogs if you guys are new to the channel. And so the topic for today is going to be regarding supplements or natural treatments for dog skin, i.e. allergies. And so I anticipate a lot of times when people are asking about supplements or natural therapy, the reason they're asking for that is because they want to avoid some of these drugs which are immunosuppressive drugs. Some of those drugs are Apoquel, also Cytopoint, Atopica, steroids, any drug which we use for allergies, or any of those drugs that I just mentioned that we use for allergies. Sometimes people will refer to them as immunomodulators. What that means is it either makes the immune system more effective or suppresses the immune system. Anytime that we're using any of those drugs, it's to suppress the immune system. The hope is that when we have these allergies, the immune system in theory is on a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being where it should be tip top, that when they're having allergies, it's at around a 15 or 20. And so what we're trying to do by going ahead and using these drugs is we're trying to suppress the immune system down to about a 10. So that way the immune system does not have an overreaction to things that it shouldn't typically have an overreaction to. So some of the different natural things that we can look into using are omega-3 fatty acids, aloe juice, turmeric are some natural supplements that can be used. And so normally the omega-3s, the products that I'm going to recommend are typically going to be individual products. And the reason that I recommend them individually is because we have dosages for a lot of these things that we know have anti-inflammatory effects. And these are not just anti-inflammatory effects for the skin, but they're also anti-inflammatory effects for the whole body. And so if you have a product that has turmeric and aloe and omega-3 fatty acids in it, what ends up happening is they're probably not going to be able to get the therapeutic levels of all those things in one capsule, or not even two. And so that's why I typically will recommend, different forms and individual products. Right here we have one of our omega-3 fatty acid chews. And when you look at the omega-3s, typically what you're looking for is what's called the EPA and the DHA. And so that's how we dose the omega-3 fatty acids. It's on the amount of milligrams of EPA and DHA. If you don't have that information in regards to the milligrams of EPA and DHA, then it's going to be really hard for anyone who is trying to dose that supplement for your pet accurately. They're not going to be able to do it unless they have this information. So if a product says it has 7,000 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids, that's fantastic. What are the doses of the EPA and DHA? If you don't have that information, then we're not going to be able to accurately go ahead and dose it. And so therefore, we're just going to have to try it and see. Secondly, when you're using omega-3 fatty acids, you have to realize it's going to take about 3 to 4 months before you're going to, you want to get down? Okay, I'll put you down. It's going to take about 3 or 4 months before the supplements will hit their peak levels. And so therefore, you need to be aware that it's not something that you can just use when you're having a flare. You're actually going to have to use this most likely before you even have a flare, so that way it's in the system long enough so it has time to ramp up. The other thing that I typically will recommend is something called, or I talked about, is turmeric and aloe juice. Royal Canin is not a sponsor of ours. This is just one of the products that we have in stock. And this particular food called Skin Support, it's not for food allergies. It's actually for seasonal allergies. And the reason it's for seasonal allergies is because it has aloe and turmeric supplementation already baked into it. Now, if you look at the ingredients and that kind of stuff, it's not the cleanest food. But if you're looking for something, let's say that your dog is difficult to go ahead and give pills to and that kind of stuff, this is a great option for something that already has the supplements in it and has shown to be effective, okay? The other thing that I would say that is quote unquote natural is potentially looking at removing physically the allergens from your dog's coats. So the way that you would do that is you would bathe them. A lot of times if I have patients who have bad allergies, they're not flaring, but they have bad allergies and we're just doing some sort of maintenance, is bathing them at least once a week. Typically, I am going to recommend a medicated shampoo, and we'll go ahead and potentially have that for you. But the medicated shampoo that I normally recommend is called duoxychlorhexidine, and that's something that has been shown to go ahead and get the bacteria that grow out of control under control if you bathe them frequent enough, okay? One of the other things that you could potentially look at doing if your dog is having allergies, there is the thought of potentially even using stem cells. This is something that's super exciting. Stem cells is just in the infancy in regards to the treatment and what it is that we can actually do with it. So it's something that I'm super excited about. The other thing that you want to take into consideration is food. Now, when we're talking about food, and this is something that's maybe a little bit more airy-fairy and that kind of stuff, is going ahead and making sure that your dog is getting food that doesn't have a bunch of inflammatory stuff in it, like corn and a bunch of fillers and that kind of stuff. And so my dogs are known to have allergies to chicken, but when I was feeding my dogs raw food that didn't really, that was a cleaner diet, they would eat chicken with no problems, and they wouldn't have any sort of vomiting or diarrhea or gassiness or anything like that. So that could potentially take us down a whole nother rabbit hole in regards to if you're feeding your dogs, let's say organic chicken, it doesn't matter if you're feeding them organic chicken or organic beef. If those animals are eating corn, then you are essentially feeding your own pet corn. And the thought is that corn is inflammatory, and I would think it potentially makes our pets more likely to have allergies than not. And so that's the whole thought process on, dogs having allergies, why it's happening so much more frequently now than it was before, and that kind of stuff. But if you guys have any questions about some of the things that we've talked about, please leave it in the comment box. If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up, subscribe. If you know somebody who needs to see this, share it with them. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and take care.